I hope everybody's doing good and staying healthy. Today I bring to you guys something really yummy. It's a dessert. It's Gelatina Mosaico. So basically this is a milk jello with chunks of other jellos inside. It's gorgeous, it's easy. You guys are gonna love it. So if you guys are interested in seeing how I put this together, stay tuned to watch and let me show you. All right, you guys, for our ingredients today. Milk. This one is 2%. You guys can use whatever percentage you guys like. Evaporated milk cans, 2. Sweetened condensed milk cans, 2. Vanilla extract. And 6 packets of KNOX unflavored gelatin. You guys are more than welcome to use whatever gelatin you guys want. This is the one that I prefer to use. All right, you guys, so these are my jellos that I'm gonna be working with today. I have berry blue, orange, and strawberry, but you guys can use any flavor you want. I went ahead and opened up the strawberry one, but before I put water in there, I wanna explain something to you guys. When you guys are doing this dessert, you really need to have, for the cubes, that jello has to be very, very firm. Otherwise, when you're slicing it up after it's cooled, it's just gonna turn to mush, just like a normal jello consistency, and it just won't work. So in order to get a firmer jello, you have to cut the water that you guys are putting in here. These little boxes require 2 cups of water. These bigger boxes require 4 cups of water. So make sure you guys are paying attention to that, okay? So for the 2-cup box, I like to try to knock out at least a half a cup of water or 1 cup. So for the 2-cup one, I'll probably go ahead and only put in a cup and a half of water. So I will try and split that up between hot and cold. So I'm gonna put in 1 cup of hot water. So I think that the hot water in this case is a little bit more important than the cold water. So you really wanna dissolve all of your jello. I've gotten it all pretty much dissolved in here. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and grab a half a cup of water of my cold water. And put that in. Okay, give it a little stir. It's basically done at this point, okay? Also, you guys, I went ahead and I have 3 different containers for my jello, obviously, but I also greased my containers because when we flip it out to slice it up, we want it to come out really easily. So that's another tip for you guys, to grease your guys' jello molds, okay? Whatever you're putting it into. It doesn't need to be anything fancy because you're just gonna slice it up anyways, all right? So I'm gonna go ahead and pour my first jello in. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna give it a little bit of a mix before I pour it because it's starting to settle just a little bit at the bottom. And we want all that. Okay, so. All right, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wash this and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, so now for the bigger boxes, again, these call for 4 cups. So for these ones, I think I'm gonna go ahead. Sorry, guys. Remember, quarantine. My kids do not know how to leave anybody alone. Anyways, okay. So put our jello in. I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 cups of the hot water. Because again, I think it's more important to have more water when you're dissolving it. Like that's a little bit more important. All right, guys, so now I'm gonna go ahead and just use, I'm gonna do a cup of the cold water for the bigger boxes. So I'm gonna leave out a whole cup, okay? Again, you need this to be nice and firm in order to stack those cubes. Otherwise, it's just gonna be mush and it's still tastes good, but it's just not gonna look as pretty, okay? Again, give it a good spin in here. Make sure everything's mixed together. Pour it into another container. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take care of my orange one, put these in the fridge, and I'm gonna see you guys when they've already firmed up, okay? All right, you guys, our Jello cooled, and I went ahead and diced it up for you. I just wanna show you guys the consistency that we're looking for. We're looking for really firm Jello cubes. That's what's gonna really hold up inside this dessert. I do wanna give you guys an update. I did use sugar-free Jello for the orange one, and I will say that it isn't as firm as the blue one. So in the future, I probably wouldn't use sugar-free for this dessert. Also, the red wasn't as firm either. And I think that's just because maybe I didn't take out as much water as I should have. I think a half a cup isn't really enough. It's not bad, but it's not as firm as I wanted it to be. So in the future, I think I will take it down to just 1 cup of water and just do half hot, half cold for the smaller boxes, okay? Which in turn would mean you'd probably need more of the smaller boxes, or you could just use a big box. No big deal. All right, okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next part. All right, you guys, so before we move on to the stove, let's go ahead and get started with our gelatin. I have 1.5 cups of hot water right here. Just gonna put our 6 packets of gelatin in here and let it do its thing while we get everything else prepared. All right. Okay. Okay. All right, so we're just gonna mix it up. Jeremiah is trying to tell me about one of his toys. So, all right. Mix it up, you guys. Try to get all those white clumps out, and then you'll let it sit, okay? This is really important right here, is to make sure it's clump free. That's what you guys want to do, okay? All right. Okay, so this is done now. So now we're gonna move on to the stove, okay? All right, you guys, so I have a pot here going. I have it on medium heat. I'm gonna go ahead and pour in my evaporated milk. Go ahead and start pouring in our sweetened condensed milk. That looks delicious. So good. You guys know I have a good recipe to make dulce de leche just using one of these sweetened condensed milk cans. So easy and so good. I'll share that with you guys soon, okay? Okay, one more. And save one of your cans, okay? We're gonna use that to fill our milk up with. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pour in 2 cups of regular milk. Just using one of these cans, okay? You guys don't need to go ahead and use your measuring cups, but if you wanted to, it's about 14 ounces. I'm not exactly sure what that measures to in a measuring cup, but feel free to do it that way if you want to. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna pour in our 1 tablespoon of vanilla. I just like to eyeball it. Okay. The whisk, just get in there, mix it all up. Now we're gonna go ahead and take our gelatin. As you guys can see, it's just like goo, like big sticky goo. Pour all of that in. Okay. Okay. Now use your whisk. Mix it all up together. Okay. You don't want to cook it for too long with that gelatin in there, or else it starts to like give you little balls, hard gelatin balls, and we don't want that. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna turn off the heat, you guys. Now we wanna let this cool down before we mix it with our other Jellos, because it will melt the other Jello cubes that we cut up. So we don't want that happening. So let's let this cool down until it gets to about room temperature, and then we can work with it, okay? All right, you guys, so I went ahead and took one of my molds and I greased it up for you, just so it'll help us when it's time to flip this out, okay? All right. Our milk mixture is cooled down. We're gonna go ahead and start this off by putting some at the bottom. Just do a little bit more. Okay. And it helps if you guys use a ladle too. Go ahead and use your hands, use whatever you want. Get some of those Jellos, the cubes. Try and get, you know, mix the colors up. It's always fun to use different colors in this. Okay, and this is why you guys really want the Jello to be firm, because it's gonna hold up in here. Okay. Okay. Now we're gonna go ahead and put another layer of the milk mixture. You might hear some cartoons going on in the back, but that's the only way I can get Jeremiah to let me do this without being inside the kitchen trying to cook with me. All right, we're gonna go ahead and add more. actually use the majority of it here. Oh, you see that? I lost one in the center. I'll come back for that one. It's already looking super pretty. I love it. All right. Top with some more milk. Okay. Okay. So I do have some extra of the Jello mixture. I'm just gonna go ahead and move this to the side. And I went ahead and greased an extra one because this by itself is delicious, you guys. If you've never had it on its own, you are missing out, my friends. All right, so I'm just gonna pour the extra. All right. Yum. Okay, so that's it, you guys. I'm gonna let these cool, and then I'll go ahead and flip them, and we can show you guys the finishing product, okay? All right, you guys. So it's out of the refrigerator, as you can see. It's nice and firm. I'm gonna go ahead and plate it right here on my cake platter, and I will show you guys when that's done, okay? All right, you guys, this is it. It literally plopped out of there super easily onto my nice little cake stand, and it is so pretty. You guys can literally see the inside where you have all your Jello bits and pieces. It's gonna be super good. All right, you guys, this is optional, of course, but this here is called rompope. It's basically like a vanilla eggnog that has alcohol inside. It's the best way I can describe it, but this goes incredible with the Jello, okay? Highly recommend it. I hope you guys do try it. If you do, tag me and let me know.